There are people in Miami who swear that the city changes after 2 in the morning. The music is still playing, the neon lights still glow along Ocean Drive, and the beaches never seem to sleep. But locals say that once the tourists disappear and the streets grow quieter, not everyone you meet is actually supposed to be there. This is the story of Emily, a 25-year-old woman who went out looking for an unforgettable night and found something she would never be able to explain. It was a warm Saturday night in South Beach. Emily had spent the evening with friends, laughing, dancing, and enjoying the energy that made Miami famous. She wore a red dress that caught everyone's attention and carried her heels in one hand as she walked barefoot along the sidewalk, letting the ocean breeze cool the humid air. As she passed a small rooftop lounge, she noticed a man standing alone near the railing. He looked to be in his early 30s, wearing a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He smiled as if he had been waiting for her all evening. When she walked by, he asked one simple question. "Do you believe some people are meant to meet twice?" Emily laughed. "I'm pretty sure we've never met." He smiled again. "Not in this life." Something about the conversation felt strangely comforting. His name was Daniel, and he seemed to know every hidden corner of Miami. They talked for hours, walking from Ocean Drive toward the quieter streets near the beach. He spoke about places that had been torn down years ago, old hotels that no longer existed, and parties from decades earlier as if he had been there himself. Several times he finished Emily's sentences before she could. He somehow knew she had recently lost her grandmother, something she had told almost no one. Every answer he gave only made her more curious. Eventually, they reached the shoreline. The beach was almost empty. The waves rolled gently onto the sand, and the city lights reflected across the water. Daniel stopped walking and looked out toward the ocean. "I've missed this view," he whispered. Emily asked him what he meant. Instead of answering, he pointed toward the old pier in the distance. "That's where everything ended." She turned to look. Only for a second. When she faced him again, he was gone. There was nowhere he could have hidden. The beach stretched for hundreds of feet in every direction. No footprints led away from where he had been standing. Emily searched for nearly an hour. She asked a jogger, a security guard, and even a police officer if they had seen a man wearing a white shirt. Everyone gave her the same answer: no. Shaken, she returned to the rooftop lounge where they had first met. The bartender listened carefully as she described Daniel. Without saying a word, he reached beneath the counter and pulled out an old newspaper clipping sealed inside a plastic sleeve. Emily's heart nearly stopped. The photograph showed the same man. The headline read, "Local man missing after midnight walk on South Beach. July 14, 1998. The bartender quietly explained that Daniel had disappeared after leaving the beach one summer night. Despite years of searching, no body was ever found. Over time, strange stories began to spread. People claimed they had danced with him, shared drinks with him, or spent hours talking before he suddenly vanished without a trace. Emily felt sick. She grabbed her phone, desperate to prove she wasn't imagining everything. There were dozens of photos from earlier that night with her friends. Then she found the picture she had taken with Daniel. She was smiling. Her arm was wrapped around someone. But standing beside her, there was no one. To this day, Emily refuses to return to South Beach after midnight. Yet every summer, people post stories online describing a polite man in a white shirt who approaches strangers with the exact same question. "Do you believe some people are meant to meet twice?" Most laugh and walk away. But those who stop to answer sometimes discover that the person they spent the entire night with officially disappeared decades ago. And by the time they realize the truth, the sun is already rising. And they're standing alone on the beach, wondering if they were ever alone to begin with.